Hello everyone, and welcome to this lecture on battery hydrogen hybrid energy storage systems. My name is Joel Bosrup. Today, we will talk about the following topics. What is a hybrid energy storage system? What are the benefits and the opportunities of a hybrid energy storage system? What are the challenges such a system faces? So, what is energy storage hybridization? First off, let's revisit the purpose of energy storage altogether. The need for energy storage comes from the nature of renewable energy. Clean energy sources like wind and solar are only available when the wind is blowing or the sun is shining. This does not necessarily coincide with the demand for energy. So, storage allows us to time shift renewable energy from when it's available to when it's needed, bridging the gap between availability and user demand. Secondly, let us define what we mean when we talk about hydrogen energy storage. On a very high level, this means converting electricity to hydrogen using an electrolyzer, storing the hydrogen as a compressed gas or a liquid, and generating electricity from hydrogen in a fuel cell when needed. The purpose of creating a hybrid energy storage system that integrates batteries with hydrogen is to combine the benefits of the two technologies to get the best of both worlds and enable time shifting that either one of them alone would struggle to achieve. As an example, let's consider domestic use of solar power in Northern Europe. Here, the availability of solar power is cycled on two different timescales, daily and yearly. Solar power is of course only available during the day, but also to a much larger degree during summer than during winter. This is the typical setup for a domestic PV system today. An array of solar panels operates parallel to the grid, and the energy not used by the household is sold to the grid. Because of the poor coincidence between the availability of PV energy and the demand for electricity, most of the energy generated in summer is fed to the grid, rather than being used by the household. In winter, with very limited PV energy available, almost all of the energy used is purchased from the grid. This means that on average, despite the solar panels installed, most of the energy used by the household over the course of 1 year is purchased from the grid. Adding a battery allows for basic time shifting. In summer, the battery is charged from the PV system during the day and discharged through user demand at night. With a setup like this, a much larger degree of the PV energy generated is used by the household itself. In winter, however, most of the electricity needed is still purchased from the grid. An ideal solution then to meeting energy demand year-round using solar power would be to also be able to store energy from summer to winter. And this is where combining the two technologies can prove to be a viable solution. Because of their technical properties, batteries and hydrogen systems complement each other very well. Where batteries are suited for daily time shifting, hydrogen systems are better used on the yearly timescale. During summer, batteries can be used to store and use energy on a daily timescale, whereas the surplus energy is stored as hydrogen instead of being sold to the grid. So, when winter arrives, the stored hydrogen can be converted back into electricity to power the household and to charge the battery. In both cases, we rely very little on the grid, and we can even achieve full energy autonomy. So, let us discuss the benefits and opportunities of the hybrid storage system by listing out the advantages and drawbacks of batteries and hydrogen storage respectively. Batteries have a higher round-trip efficiency, whereas hydrogen systems by comparison are quite inefficient, both for making hydrogen and for using it. On the other hand, one of the main limitations of a battery is the amount of energy stored. Having a large enough battery to store energy from summer to winter is quite costly, both in terms of money and of the natural resources used. Hydrogen systems, by contrast, can easily achieve very high storage capacities. Hydrogen systems also have minimal storage losses over time. Batteries have the problem of self-discharging, meaning that they lose some of their stored power over longer time periods. However, at shorter timescales, ranging from a few minutes to a couple of days, batteries perform better due to faster charging and discharging rates. The response capability of hydrogen production from a variable electricity source is quite slow compared to the flexible charging rate of batteries. And the same goes for responding to load changes when converting hydrogen back to electricity versus the quick response of a battery system. So, because of this, batteries are excellent for daily time shifting, storing enough energy during the day, and using it at night. Hydrogen systems, on the other hand, are better suited for seasonal time shifting, storing energy throughout summer for use later in winter. In a hybrid storage system feeding a household, the benefit of both technologies can be reaped to achieve energy autonomy year-round. A setup like this combines the strengths of the two technologies, the rapid response capabilities of the battery with the long-term energy storage capacity of hydrogen. The opportunity then of a hybrid battery and hydrogen storage system is to achieve both short-term and long-term time shifting of renewable energy for seasonal storage of renewable energy and full energy autonomy. An added benefit of seasonal storage is the opportunity of increasing the poor round-trip efficiency of hydrogen systems. When hydrogen is passed through a fuel cell to generate electricity, a large amount of heat is being generated at the same time. Water-cooled fuel cells allow for capturing this heat, which exits at a radiator-friendly 65 degrees Celsius. As hydrogen mainly is consumed during winter, using this waste heat for domestic heating is a great way of improving overall efficiency. So far, we have discussed the benefits of a hybrid system. Let's talk about some of the challenges. The main challenge with the hybrid system is cost. At current cost levels for the hydrogen storage system, recovering this over time is quite tricky. But as with all new technologies, rapid developments are pushing costs down for all major components, electrolyzers, compressors, and fuel cells alike. Major decreases are to be expected in the coming years. Another challenge is complexity. The complexity for system design increases as there are more parameters to optimize for, such as battery size, hydrogen storage capacity, and electrolyzer and fuel cell power. Also, as with any increase in complexity, there is a higher probability that something will break and cause the system to shut down, potentially leaving the user without energy. The last major challenge is operational complexity. The control strategies for when to charge the battery versus the hydrogen system needs to be considered to maximize hydrogen production, while at the same time ensuring there's electricity available for the user. With technological advancements, better and smarter controls can be developed to mitigate this complexity. So, to summarize, a hybrid system is the coupling of two types of storage, battery and hydrogen, to reap the advantages of both technologies. The benefit of a hybrid system is the opportunity of achieving short and long-term time shifting of renewable energy in a manner that one of these technologies alone would struggle to achieve. One example is the possibility of providing full energy autonomy for domestic users using solar PV. The downsides are costs and increased complexity. In the end, the financial viability of these systems will be the determining factor for widespread implementation. This in turn depends on future cost decreases for key components, as well as the possible development of competing alternatives. Thank you for attending this lecture.